Hello everyone, in our previous video we were talking about dementia. So now we'll move on to understand AMD classification. So this AMD classification falls under the mental retardation followed by PKU and cretinism. However, we haven't spoken about this there, but we will talk about that classification right now. So AMD classification stands for age-related macular degeneration. So this is a full form of AMD, age-related macular degeneration. We'll look into this in more detail. So macular degeneration is a medical condition in which the light sensing cells in the macula malfunction and over time cease to work. So this is a form of problem. This is a kind of problem which affects the ability of vision. So vision of an individual is affected. It is a medical condition where the macula is present in your eyes and the macula malfunctions. The malfunction of macula causes this problem where light sensing cells in macula is not functioning properly, and over the time the work of the macula is ceased down. They do not function. First, initially, their light sensing ability is reduced. Later, on a long term, their functioning ceases for all. So, this is a condition which causes a loss of vision. According to American Academy of Ophthalmology, it is a leading cause of central vision loss, that is blindness. And in United States today, for those over the age of 50 years, although some macular dystrophies that affect younger individuals also, sometimes referred as macular degeneration, the term generally refers to as age-related macular degeneration. So this form of problem is mostly seen and mostly expressed in the individual who are over 50 years of age, but then younger individuals also at times suffer from this particular problem. However, that time you call it as age-related, referred to as macular degeneration. The term is generally referred to as age-related macular degeneration, as the degeneration takes place over the age of an individual rather than at the younger ages. But then when this happens with people who are young, it is usually termed as macular degeneration. So now let us understand age-related macular degeneration. So age-related macular degeneration begins with the characteristic yellow spots in the macula, the central area of the retina. So macula is in the central area of your retina. So it is also called as dorsum. This characteristic yellow deposits in the macula are called dorsum. This macula is in the central part of your retina. It is in the central area of the retina. Macula is the central area of retina where you find the characteristic yellow deposits. These deposits are covered in the macula, which is called as drusen. Most people with early changes in good vision, people with drusen, can go on to develop advanced AMD. So drusen is the initial stage of causing you the loss of vision or blindness. So this is where you at the early stages or at the younger ages you develop this form of problem of vision, and if untreated, if left untreated, then it would cause you advanced AMD problems. The risk is considerably high when drusen are larger and numerous and associated with the disturbance in pigmented cell layer under the macula. This condition is of high risk when you talk about drusen. It should be either in large number or the size of deposit should be large, and numerous drusens are deposited, and this is associated with the disturbance in the pigmented cell layer. The pigmented cell layer under your macula is the cell layer under your macula should be pigmented. That will worsen the condition more. And advanced AMD, which is responsible for profound vision loss, has two forms, dry and wet. So when we talk about advanced AMD, this is something which can cause vision loss of two types, dry and wet. So central geographic atrophy, the dry form of advanced AMD, causes vision loss through loss of photoreceptors and cells supporting the photoreceptors in the central part of the eye. So as we know, there are two forms of loss of vision, that is dry and wet. So in advanced AMD, which will cause you the profound vision loss that can lead to blindness also at times. But then these profound vision loss is divided into two types. It is expressed in two types. One is dry vision loss and the wet vision loss. So when we talk about that, the central geographic atrophy, the dry form of advanced AMD, this is called as the dry form of AMD is called as central geographic atrophy. This causes vision loss through loss of photoreceptors and cells supporting the photoreceptors. So AMD is acting on macula. So it's clear. AMD is acting on macula. Macula is a central part of the retina, and when the advanced AMD is caused, that is the dry form of advanced AMD, it is called as central geographic atrophy. And this central geographic atrophy has the property of making you lose your vision through the loss of photoreceptors and those cells which supports the photoreceptors in the central part of your eye. Certainly, current times, at this point of time, there is no treatment available for this condition. So we have another form of AMD, that is neovascular AMD. This is the wet form of advanced AMD. So we have two types of advanced AMD which are responsible for profound vision loss, that is dry form and wet form. The advanced dry form of AMD is called as central geographic atrophy, which acts on the photoreceptor cells and those cells which supports the photoreceptors in our central which are in the central part of our eyes. And we have the another form of advanced AMD, that is neovascular AMD, which is a wet form of advanced AMD which causes vision loss due to abnormal blood vessel growth under the macula. So first case, we have dry AMD wherein the loss is due to photoreceptors and the cell supporting photoreceptors, whereas when we talk about wet advanced AMD, it is also called as neovascular AMD. Here the abnormal blood vessel growth is seen under the macula, which causes bleeding, leaking and scarring from these blood vessels, eventually cause irreversible damage to the photoreceptors and supporting cells. So these abnormal growth can lead to bleeding, leaking of the blood vessels, which can be irreversible and damage the photoreceptors and the supporting cells. Basically, the photoreceptors and those supporting cells are making you lose your vision, but then when they dry, it is just the loss of photoreceptors, whereas in the wet AMD, here the bleeding, leaking of the blood vessels are seen due to the abnormal growth of the blood vessels under the macula. So these are the two facts about AMD. So if these things are left untreated, new effective treatment, in the sense we have a very least treatment methodology used, because we have not advanced in treating this particular problem and we do not have a treatment to cure it at all. We can only take the prevention, or we can prevent this from further damaging, that's all. So if this is not taken care, then it's really a problem. But new effective treatment for neovascular form of AMD are now available. We do not have the treatment for dry advanced AMD, but we have effective treatments for neovascular form of AMD, or it is called as wet advanced AMD, which is now available. So let us understand what are the risk factors associated with this. So the risk factors are aging. Approximately 10% of the patients from the age range of 66 to 74 of years will have findings of macular degeneration. This prevalence increases to 30% in the patients of 75 to 85 years of range. So when you are within the age group of 65 to 74, that is you are young old, then your chances are 10%. If you're old, then your chance of prevalence increases to 30%, that is 75 to 85. So this young old and old, the classification that you studied in your developmental psychology, where that is developmental psychology part 2, the later adulthood. So you have the classification there for the aging. So this will help you out understand that when your age group is between 66 to 74, that is when you're young old, it's only 10%, and when you are advancing towards being old, that is 75 to 85, then the prevalence rate increases to 30%. Smoking is the another cause and a risk factor. The only environmental exposure clearly associated with the macular degeneration is tobacco smoking. Exposure to cigarette smoke more than doubles the risk of macular degeneration. Smoking tobacco causes a problem, and if you are exposed to the smoke of the tobacco, then that is causing even more problem. The risk doubles with that, with the inhaled smoke from the someone who is smoking cigarette standing next to you. So this will double you the cause for macular degeneration. Talking about the family history, we have family history also supporting this. That would be a risk factor, where the lifetime risk of developing late stage macular degeneration is 50% for people those who have relative with macular degeneration, and versus 12% of people who do not have relatives with macular degeneration. That is a 4-fold higher risk at times. So there are chances of developing this is 50% if you have family members with the macular degeneration problem, and it would be 12% if you don't have any relatives. And the gene for macular degeneration, so it is a little complex explanation here, as well as to remember and write in the exams. So the thing is, the gene that is responsible for the complement system, the proteins factor, that is factor H, that is also called as CFH, and the factor B, CFB. These two things are determined to be strongly associated with the person's risk of developing macular degeneration. However, CFH is involved in inhibiting the inflammatory response mediated via C3b and the alternative pathway of complement, both by acting as a cofactor for cleavage of C3b into its inactive form, C3b1, and by weakening the active complex that forms between C3b and factor B. So these are this is a complex explanation of how gene is responsible for your macular degeneration. So you can just mention that if at all you have a gene which is high on the protein factor H and factor B, then your chances of developing macular degeneration is highly seen. So this is a very shorter version of this C3b and C3b1. So now let us understand hypertension, cardiovascular status, and high intake of fat. So hypertension, that is also called as high blood pressure, this can also lead you to come up with the ADM problems, and the cardiovascular disease, then you have high cholesterol, obesity. This can also result in the macular degeneration over time. So when another thing is high fat intake, it is associated with increased risk of macular degeneration in both men and women. So as you can see, those deposits, the yellow deposits in the macular of your eye, so these are very much being influenced by the high intake of fat. So fat provides about 42% of food energy in average American diet. We are talking about American diet, and a diet that diverts closer to 20 to 25% of total food energy from fat is probably healthier. So out of 42%, 20 to 25 is healthier. Reducing fat intake to this level means cutting down greatly a consumption of red meat and dairy products such as milk, cheese and butter. Eating more cold water fish at least twice weekly rather than meat and eating any type of nuts may help macular degeneration patients. So when we talk about this, fat provides 42% of food energy to average in an average American diet. However, 20 to 25 is used for healthier body functioning, but then the rest is not healthy for us. So in this case, if we reduce the fat consumption, then it would be much more better. And reducing this would help by, like, in the sense you need to cut on your meat, especially red meat, dairy products like milk, cheese and butter. Then eat more cold water fish than the meat at least twice a week. So this would help you in cutting down the craving for the non-veg. And you have to eat more nuts. So this is also a risk factor if you are on high fat diet. Then next is oxidative stress. It has been proposed that age-related accumulation of low molecular weight phototoxic pre-oxidant melanin within the lysosomes in the retinal pigment epithelium may be partly responsible for decreasing the digestive rate of photoreceptor outer rod segments by the RPE. A decrease in digestive rate of POS has been shown to be associated with lipofuscin formation, a classic sign associated with macular degeneration. So this is again a complex network woven, wherein the increase, if you have been proposed that the age-related accumulation of low macular weight, phototoxic pro-oxidant melanin within the lysosomes, that is in the retinal pigment epithelium, if it is partly responsible in decreasing the digestive rate of photoreceptors. These photoreceptors are which are responsible for helping us to see the things around us, and when this is affected, our vision is affected, and these are in the outer rod segments of RPE, and decreased in the rate of this POS has been shown to be associated with lipofuscins formation, a classic sign associated with macular degeneration. It is something which is really complex to remember and to rewrite. You can understand this, but you putting it across in the words is really difficult, and all that you have here is a scientific terms. You cannot find a substitute for this. These are the parts of your eyes, these are parts of your retina, so you cannot find a different name for this. You have to just write as it is. Next being the race. Race is race and macular degeneration is more likely to be found in whites rather than the blacks. So white Americans, as these studies are based on Americans, white Americans are more prone to this rather than the black or the African Americans. So next is exposure to sunlight. So the study says that especially when an individual is exposed to blue light, they get affected, but there is a conflicting evidence. So the sunlight contributes to development of the macular degeneration. A recent study in the British Journal of Ophthalmology has made a study on about 446 subjects, and they found that it does not. So exposure to sunlight will not cause you the macular degeneration, rather than that helps in preventing the degeneration. High energy visible lights have been implemented as a cause of age-related macular degeneration rather than the sunlight. HEV lights are more harmful to your eyes rather than the sunlight. We have signs and symptoms for this. So symptoms are blurred vision, Those with the non-exudative macular degeneration may be by asymptomatic or notice a gradual loss of central vision, whereas those with the adductive macular degeneration often notice a rapid onset of vision loss. So, two forms of macular degeneration, wherein one has very slowly you will lose your vision, in the other you will lose your vision as rapid as the onset of the problem takes place. So that is non-exudative macular degeneration. Here the loss of vision is slow, whereas exudative macular degeneration, the loss of vision is very rapid. The second being the central scotomas, where shadows or missing areas of vision, you do not see the vision, you cannot make out, there is just a shadow of it. Then distorted vision, a grid of straight lines appears wavy and part of the grid may appear black. So there is a picture on the document that I'll be sharing with you. So when you are normal, when your eyesight is normal, you can see the black dot properly. Whereas when you have this problem, then you could see a black patch, and the grid lines just like that you have on your graph sheets gets blurred, and you could see that it has very wavy. So that is one of the symptom, and this is used to find out and diagnose it. This is a test that is given to diagnose it properly. And then you have trouble discerning colors, especially dark ones from dark ones and light ones from light one. You cannot differentiate the colors, as you have different shades of red. You cannot differentiate among them. At the same time, you have different shades of pink, which is light. You cannot differentiate with that. Slow recovery of visual function after exposure to bright light. So when you are exposed to bright light, then you cannot recover as soon as a normal individual can recover from it. So we have diagnosis and treatment followed by prevention. We'll talk about that in a next video. Thank you.